Okay, this is in slow mode. Yeah, outside, if you just put a little bit of yaw in, this thing is really stable. It's just the yaw inside for some reason, it goes out of balance, but now it's tracking really nice. It's turning really predictable. Yeah, definitely. Outside, this thing flies really good. Let's go ahead and put it in high mode. Oh yeah, look how fast that thing is. Yeah, I wasn't sure on the gyro on this kind of tricopter design. This thing actually has 4 motors on it, but it's just an interesting setup. I'm sure they had to tune the gyro system really uniquely just for this thing. So it's still kind of in fast mode. You really want to be gentle with the yaw, because if it's too fast, just like a fast car, it does like to spin out in the rear. It's just because it doesn't have that balance like a quadcopter does, where all 4 motors are perfectly balanced. This thing definitely has some unique characteristics to it. So far I have not had any blades pop off, which is good. This thing's been pretty stable. Or pretty sturdy, I should say. Definitely not the most stable quadcopter out there, but that is the cost you pay for having something unique like this. Track's really nice once you get going straight. Just pulling through those corners, you really have to be gentle with that yaw. I'll do full yaw outside. And my battery's about dead. Definitely getting a little over 5 minutes flight time on this, which is impressive. Sideways is definitely not as fast. Although I could have been fighting the breeze there. Let's see. Yeah, sideways is not as fast as going forward. And that's the battery. As you see, when you put in that yaw, it kind of messes up the hovering. Kind of wants to go back a little bit. It's still really stable when you fly it. It's just when you put in that yaw, it starts to spin all over the place. And I'm assuming that's because the center of gravity on this it rotates around that front ball, around that green light right there. So it kind of wobbles. It's like a fast car that's taken off too fast and its back end spins out from underneath it. So it does take a little getting used to. It doesn't make it unflyable. It definitely adds a little challenge to it. This is in slow mode. Go ahead and put it over in fast mode. You get much faster side to side and back and forth. Let's check out the yaw. I'll go ahead and put in full yaw. Okay, still really fast. I don't know if the yaw is necessarily faster, but the speed is definitely faster. Let's do a flip inside. Oops. That was my fault. I put in too much power. So I'm just going to go ahead and get up about 6 feet high. I'm not flying good today. Alright, let's try that again. So pretty smooth flips, surprisingly. There's a double flip. It didn't like that. Alright, let's try a front flip. Alright, for some reason it did not want to do a front flip. Does it only flip to the sides, maybe? Okay, it'll do a backflip. Alright, well, interesting. It'll do a flip to the sides and then the back, but not the front. Hit the wall pretty hard and it didn't crash, surprisingly. Let's do another backflip. Cool. So overall, the M71 quadcopter flew better than I expect. I was not expecting this thing to fly that good, just because of its different setup. And you know, a lot of the manufacturers that make the gyros, they don't make them for this kind of a design. So, but you know, surprisingly, it flew well. It did have a couple quirks about it, a couple problems that are pretty easy to overcome. But the biggest thing is the center of gravity it's definitely not in the center of this quad. So when you turn, it doesn't turn right on that center axis. Like a normal quadcopter, if you put in your yaw, it would just stay in a pretty nice hover. It would stay in the same spot. But this one, because the center of gravity is pretty close to the front, it does kind of wobble around. So if you're in a small area like inside, you know, you're going to run the risk of hitting the wall. Outside, you know, you're not going to really notice it be that much of a problem. And as long as you're really coordinated with your turns, with your yaw, you can actually get it to behave just fine. So, you know, if you're really gentle with your yaw, just put a little bit in, you can make a really nice coordinated turn. But if you start going too fast, the back will kind of spin out from underneath itself. And just remember, if you guys do knock off one of the blades, these blades are all different. So you have, let's see, this is A2 and B2, and then even on the front two, you have B2 and A2. This one's going to push down, and this one's going to pull air down. So that's how those work. There's actually two motors right there. As far as charging goes, you can charge from the remote. It will take about an hour to charge, especially when you're using AA batteries. So I do recommend this charging inside, like on your cell phone charger or your laptop. And then as far as the battery goes, the battery compartment is kind of hard to get off. You do have these two middle clips, which you can't see right away, but when you pull it out, it's almost like it's like glued in there. Just pull, and then you'll see it kind of pulls out like that. And then you have these two little tabs, which lock in place there. And then the battery is a little tricky to get in there. You basically want to wrap that wire around and then tuck it in the side right there. You don't want this on top of the battery, or else the battery compartment is not going to really close that well. So just like that. Turning it on. Flip on your remote. Bring it all the way up, all the way down, and you're ready to go. And then as far as the top, this is your, the top left button is your flip button. So when you want to do a flip, hold this down and then go in the direction. That is a little bit different from most quadcopters. Most of them you just press down once and then it stays on that beeping until you do your flip. This one, you have to hold down, then do your flip. Mine would only do flips to the back and then to the sides. I don't know why, but it doesn't do front flips. Not that big of a deal. And over here on the right, you do have your speed settings. You can choose between low and fast. And then you have your trim tabs. So front, back, left, and right. And then you have your yaw trim over here. And if you need to recalibrate your quadcopter, so for example, if you're putting in so much trim that it just, you know, it still is not correcting for the amount of trim you put in, then what you can do to recalibrate it, you just bring both joysticks down, and then you're going to see the quadcopter flash. And then once that flashes, like that, then it's recalibrated. So both of them down, down, and to the right. All right, and that's my review on the uniquely designed M71 quadcopter / tricopter. If you guys do have any questions, please just leave them in the comments down below. I'll do my best to get back to everyone. And if you guys like the video, please subscribe to keep up to date with my future reviews. All right, bye.